Good morning, guys. Welcome to the show before the show. I see Kurt. Sorry, and Angie. You guys are in so far. Monday. Hopefully your weekend was all right, Lizzie.
It was very good. The weather was so great, so I cannot complain.
The weather was great.
Wasn't it?
What? What do you mean it was great? It was rainy and gray. The temperatures were better.
Well, maybe that's it. But I don't mind the rain. I like all the weather, but it was just nice that it wasn't 105 degrees.
You are a dark soul.
I am a dark soul. I even like rain and snow and all of it.
Hey, David. Hey, Ben and Trisha. Air conditioning is kicking strong where we are broadcasting
it feels
live today.
Beautiful in here.
My first shirt from Friday still is not dried out. It broke the dryer. It was so wet.
But the white shirt really turned out good.
That's kind of, we'll see.
Yeah, it was good.
Chris, good morning to you. Chris is behind a million lines in the communist state of Illinois.
Oh, God love. Who is this? Oh, yeah, Chris. Mm-hmm. And Trisha is totally out there in God's country. She's building a house, and so she's in her.
I know she is.
And she's out now out of her hotel and in this big, gorgeous RV that's bigger than most people's house, living the dream.
Clark is an RV.
Yes.
Yeah, it was crazy on Saturday. They moved some football games for high school football in the state of Missouri from Friday night to Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tried to move them up to 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then that's when the storm started to hit.
Oh, they couldn't win in that
Games
situation.
didn't get, the Suns game started after 1 o'clock. They're all stuffed in locker rooms all day.
Wow. Our daughter's school, she's obviously not a football player, but we were up at the game and they still played. It really wasn't that bad. But then again, I'm not in pads, so.
It is Monday, August 28th. Getting ready to get started here. Figure out. Oh, I got to check that out still. I saw this coming down the pipeline. That was so stupid. I didn't even know that there's a top alcohol advisor in the United States.
Well, that'd be a good job.
Well, they said they're going to try to limit. Ben, I know you like your beer. Biden's alcohol czar says the U.S. may follow Canada, limit beers to 2 a week.
And how are they going to do that? I mean, seriously.
Control. And then if you say the government is only worried about control, there are groups of people that say you're crazy, you're nuts, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Right. Could you imagine?
Ben, you could drink 2 beers and 4 drinks.
Yeah, I don't think he and Marla would like that very much with what they do.
No, Marla would like that.
She would like that? Even for business?
I'm teasing. I'm talking about Ben.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Okay.
They're actually up for review. Okay.
That's great. Could you imagine drinking, like with all the regulations they're trying to have down, drinking your 2 beers behind a mask? with your straw. That's not plastic. That's paper.
They're falling apart.
They sure are. Absolutely falling apart.
Let's see. What else do we have up here? I know we'll talk about it a little bit later once we start the show as well. We'll get everybody in here. Angie says it's a shame that we're always right, though, Vic. We have been more so than not when it comes to most of the things that are happening. Jake, hey, buddy. Good morning to you. The reason China and Russia are circling the toilet bowl is because they let Trump-like filth take over their countries and destroy the seedlings of democracy, the rule of law, free speech, and human rights. Trump supporters are the enemies of America, everything that makes us great.
You know what? The fact that he says that we're a democracy instead of a republic, literally right there screams, what the hell are you talking about?
Who said that? A democracy?
Jake.
Well, no, most people think, but here's the thing. We are a republic, but I technically agree.
You technically
But I've always said we're a democracy, but I know we're a republic, but most Americans feel democracy is a good thing.
Correct.
Most Americans don't understand the difference between a democracy and a republic.
That's true. They don't.
And that's not a bad thing. It's just, you have to be taught. And
Correct.
Guess what? It was only within the last year.
Right. That was really, yeah. I've known it for years, but you're right. Probably the last year is when people have been really talking about.
Not that news anchors are the most intelligent people in the world, but I guarantee less than 0.2% of U.S. news anchors and reporters and writers have any idea. I promise you.
Hey, Jake, that's on there that says that Trump supporters are the enemy of America. Who would you like to vote for? I just always love to know who, if you really hate a candidate, regardless of who it is.
Oh, I thought he was being sarcastic.
I don't know. He's from San Francisco, California. That doesn't mean anything, but I just would.
Good morning, Les and Cindy. Good morning, Karen. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, we're a national show. We have listeners all over the country. My cousin's out in San Francisco, the Bay Area. That's right. We've got a San Francisco video to show this morning.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. We're going to show you their beautiful federal building.
Can't wait to see it. Can't wait.
Just wait till you see that beautiful, how great San Francisco is doing with all those great Gavin Newsom policies in the state. We also have another story, a second one from California this morning, a story of hope.
Like that too.
Good morning to you, Bobby Horvath. Good seeing you this morning on here, Big Bobby. August 25th edition, getting ready. Oh, you took your Trump flag down, Lizzie.
I did. It's still here. I could put it back up.
So last week you started, you had your American flag up.
Yeah.
Then you had the Freedom 13 flag.
Correct.
In honor of the 13 servicemen and women who lost their life in the murder tragedy that has the blood on their hands of the United States Biden administration.
Yes.
Lost their life at the Kabul airport. And then you had Trump up last week.
I did.
But you've taken Trump down.
And the reason why I took Trump down, he will be back for sure. But Mark Schmitz, his son died, obviously, one of the 13th, 2 years ago this past weekend. So I want to honor that for the rest of the month, for August.
Let me read this real quick before we start the show, guys. We just kind of always take it by feel. Jake replied, Lizzie Sparks, Ron DeSantis, has all the charisma and courage of Ted Cruz being chased by snappy turtles.
Jake is funny.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
That's good.
Dude, that was good. We've got a video of Ron DeSantis today that's not going to be pleasing to Ron DeSantis.
Oh my gosh, Jake's answer is great.
He says Tim Scott appears to be a 3D projection of a real human being that speaks from a broken recording. Nikki Haley, conservative lady who looks like she accidentally stumbled. Hold on a second, I just lost it.
This is great.
Stumbled into an unsanctioned frat party at an unranked university. Vivek Ramaswamy, random kid who reported the most extreme political platform that he could find on Google last week.
That's good.
Christie. Less successful version of Trump, who thinks suddenly being honest will differentiate him from the others. Doug Burgum, who many people have no idea who
that's
he
the
even
eyebrow
is.
Guy.
He's eyebrow guy.
Mm-hmm, that's all I know about
North Dakota governor.
So far, he's not wrong.
Whoa, hold on. That keeps moving on me. Hold on a second.
Asa Hutchinson is the next one.
Asa Hutchinson. So being that makes the rest of the GOP old guard look youthful and exciting. Mike Pence did want to speak more, but his mommy wasn't around to give him permission. The only two viable candidates in this bunch are Haley and Christie, even though it felt like I was trying to pick the most attractive turd in a public toilet bowl. Republicans aren't going to have enough sense to choose either of them anyway. It seems pretty clear that the independents will have to write off the GOP this year. That's an interesting comment because we've talked about where independents will go. Although I think there's less independents, even though we think there's a lot of them. Even if Trump is exiled to Pluto, they still have no chance of winning any national election next year unless the DP drops Biden and nominates the deer carcass that I saw in the woods yesterday. That is
he's really funny
of the day.
Well, then I would like to know what I'm assuming that he's not on the right side of things, which, you know, I love it that Jake is here because I like to hear all points. So like Jake, if you're still listening, I would like to hear who would be your candidate. So we get all of the people that did the debate are not your faves. I agree with you. Almost everything you said there, Jake. I'm more of an independent right leaning, and I agree with every word you just said. So who's your Democrat?
No, you don't. You don't think Christie's a viable candidate?
That's a joke. I thought he was joking.
Oh, okay.
No.
Whatever. I don't know.
I don't think Chris Christie and you know, it's so funny what he said about that. Chris Christie and Haley, I think, are the least viable candidates. But you remember when you said that your daughter, I think it was last Friday, you said that, you know, some of the people at college, it was funny. Two of my daughters said the same thing. They're looking for a conservative or a Republican, and they don't like any of them. So they're leaning to Nikki Haley simply because she's a female, and they think that she's the Republican, quite more feminine.
I don't know. That was my daughter's opinion.
Yeah, two of mine too.
And all of her infinite wisdom as a 20-year-old.
Right. One of mine is 14 that said that, and the other one was in her 20s. So same thing. I appreciated, though, that they were willing to even talk about it.
All right. It's a Monday. It's August 28th. Let's go ahead and start the show. Hey guys, welcome into canceltheshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. Greg's in the house as well, learning Projo's job. He's going to be a part of the show, backing up, doing whatever he can. We've talked about some of the shows that we have coming. We're working on them. It takes time, but we do have shows coming in to Cancel This, the network, Renew Media Group. If you guys are interested in podcasting, if you know of shows, we've got one of the best studios you're going to find throughout the St. Louis metro area. That's for sure. We'll put it up against anything, what we do here regarding what we can do. We have a cool sports show that's getting ready to start. Projo has a show that's getting ready to start. He's talked about it. We'll let him talk about that a little bit later. But we're the main show right now, the flagship show, canceltheshow.com, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. You can catch all of our evergreen content, canceltheshow.com. You can find all the platforms, video, audio, sitting right there for you. News headlines, politics, cancel culture, education, business, entertainment, paranormal, conspiracy theory. We do it all here, and we love it that you're part of it. A big part of the podcast is the live aspect of it. You guys make that go as well when you join. You don't have to join us live. Most of the people who intake our content watch it or listen to it after the show of 8 to 10 a.m. Central. So anyway, we're grateful you're here today. All right, coming up today, we're packed as we always are on Mondays. So much to get into. Sorry to say it, but there's COVID news. We're going to break it down. We won't spend the whole day on it, but there's 3 hospital systems, massive hospital systems that are now, quote, requiring mask in their hospitals. Yeah, we'll see. We'll get in it. By the way, remember, there's a difference between a mandate. A mandate is not a law. Just remember that, okay? And we're not crazy, and I'm not crazy. I always try to pull Lizzie back sometimes from the line, and she's always trying to pull me towards her line.
It's true.
And
I don't always agree.
But I'm telling you right now, a mandate is not a law. A mandate is not a law. And I have to agree about the complying issue.
Yes, I agree with you about that. That's one thing we agree.
But once again, if you're an employer and you tell your people you have to wear a mask, you have to come in, you can say all day, I'm not going to do it. But then you suffer. What are you going to do? People lost their jobs. They're not able to sue, over the cupcake. So I pray to God we're not going to be dealing with all of that shit again. I do, but these are some of the stories that are going on. We'll talk about Biden's asking Congress for money for a new cupcake. Okay, let's double him up.
Yeah.
Sedation, even more so. DeSantis, Newsom, will that debate happen? This is very interesting. We also got, thank God, the directors from The Blind Side, the actual movie directors came out. They set the record straight once and for all. Michael Oher, shame on you, as I've said from the start. We'll get into some of the information there. And of course, you don't see national media going out and talking about him. Directors basically saying he's a liar. This is a money grab. It's what it's been from the start. He literally slapped the hand that was feeding him, bit the hand that was feeding him, taking care of him, and claiming racism. Just shows you what he is. There's a lot of people like him, unfortunately. Use race for their advantage, play victim, blame people. Yeah, whatever, Michael. Go find the rock that you came out from and go back underneath. Shame on you to do what you did to your parents. It's a video that's made its way around. I had 2 texts over the weekend about Vivek. Like people he was great, but we don't like him anymore.
Right.
After hearing information,
people.
We'll play a video on that. Oliver Anthony, who became super, super popular in the last few weeks. We played his video last week.
Yeah.
He's pissed at Republicans. He was pissed at the debate team for Fox.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat.
Correct. He wasn't talking about just Joe Biden either.
We got a quote. Yeah. Oh, no. It's anybody who is money hungry.
Correct.
Is basically what it is.
Yep.
We got a video and quote from him. We'll get to the bottom and explain. There's been reports of 2,500 Maui children missing.
Yes.
That's not it. I think that headline is misleading. And we'll explain what's going on from that situation. We've got the bad from California. We've got a hopeful story from California as well. So, but you won't want to miss Ron DeSantis in a moment that I didn't see at the debate the other night, which I think is the funniest video going right now. Is Ron DeSantis legit? And does he even know how to debate yet? So we'll get into that. Tons coming up. Take a look at our advertisers, the people who help make this show go. If you know of any advertisers and people that want to partner with us, please let us know. Let me know. We've got packages. We can work all kinds of things out to make sure that we continue to grow here at Cancel This. We'll be right back with cancelthisshow.com after, about a minute and a half, 2 minutes worth of commercials. Back in just a second.
House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during our solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Jonathan, what does make Rockwood so special?
Rockwood, we carbonize it higher than anybody else does. So we're cooking out everything that produces ash, smoke, anything like that. It gives you a lot more control over the temperature, a lot more control over the fire, and it's 100% Missouri product.
All right, where can people get it?
It's at 100-plus locations around St. Louis, any Deerberg, Straub's, meat markets, wine and cheese stores, hardware stores, you name it, we're around St. Louis. Just check the website.
And good charcoal should be able to break apart in your hands like
absolutely,
does,
yeah.
Right?
If you can't break it apart by hand, it's not charcoal yet. It's still wood. They didn't do the job, so make sure it can break apart by hand.
All right, get your Rockwood charcoal.
Marco, wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Attention, anyone who served, lived, or worked at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987. Camp Lejeune's drinking water was dangerously toxic, and base personnel and their families have since suffered cancer and other illnesses. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and were diagnosed with cancer, you may be eligible for significant compensation. Call the Driscoll firm now. Consultations are free, and you won't pay a fee unless we get you the money you deserve. 1-800-805-4800.
Hey guys, welcome back into cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo in the house, bringing you this podcast on August 28th. It is a Monday. Glad you're with us this morning. You can always go to cancelthisshow.com and, of course, check in with the platforms that you want. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share the show if you can. It doesn't matter if you're watching live or if you're watching the show after it's over from live. You can go ahead and send it. If you know of people, let them know. Thanks again for utilizing our advertisers if you need any of those products and letting them know that you heard about them and love the fact that they're here with cancelthisshow.com. All right, it's a Monday. There's a lot to get into. Can I just do this really quick? I want to get into the DeSantis stuff. It's pretty funny. I mean, I know we're starting to build the audience and everything. First of all, okay, it's been a while, but Gavin Newsom wanted to do a debate with Ron DeSantis. And he basically challenged him, and Ron DeSantis accepted. And they don't have a time. They don't have a place. They don't have a date in regards to when they're going to do this. But allegedly, it's pissing off Joe Biden and Kamala Harris from insiders in regards to what's going on. Now, I felt this. People, if you didn't know already, let me get in really close to the camera. Everything that happens in headlines and media, it's already been scripted behind the scenes. We find out as higher ups, deep state, everybody else, Republicans and Democrats want us to know. That's when we find out. This stuff's already been played out. Okay, so now we're being told they throw things out there to see what's going to happen. Gavin Newsom didn't just all of a sudden go, oh, I want to debate with Ron DeSantis. Things are planned. It's to give them a national spotlight. This stuff is coordinated. It's choreographed behind the scenes to give them more attention. Gavin Newsom comes on and does an interview on Fox News. Sean Hannity, remember that? We're like, what the truck is going on there? Why would they do? Oh, then, of course, Ron DeSantis out there looking for publicity because he can't beat Trump. Okay, so all of this stuff happens. They set up this debate. Well, now the Biden and Harris administration getting upset because, Gavin, as we've talked about, hell, Eric said it the first day.
Mm-hmm. He's been saying
Biden went on one of his, when Biden went on one of his multiple, and he was on a vacation again last weekend, the most vacationing president of all time. He went on, literally Gavin Newsom was at the White House. What the hell what was Gavin Newsom doing at the White House like 6 months ago when the president wasn't there?
Right. That's so
As
weird.
Eric said, he was, he was sizing curtains. He was checking out new stuff, where he's going to put his new furniture.
Absolutely.
When he tries to move into the White House. Okay. So that allegedly is pissing off the Biden administration.
Yeah.
I love it. But Gavin Newsom, they say, quote, the word is that it's disrespectful that Gavin Newsom would even consider a debate with Ron DeSantis. So much wrong about this. Okay, if you're Ron DeSantis, whatever. Okay, fine. You're trying to make a name for yourself. People are wondering, why you tried to run, and we've blown that out of proportion. We've talked so much about him. Why did you run? Why did you run? Why did you run? Mm-hmm. So he's in. Would anybody be interested in a debate between Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis?
No, I think I'll skip that one.
I'll speak for myself. Hell no.
No, not interested.
Are you kidding me? Talk about milquetoast.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting. Donald Trump said that he's friends with Gavin Newsom. Now, you can be friends with people even if you don't agree with their politics.
Correct. And he was friends with a lot of Democrats before he ran.
He said that Gavin's always been kind to him.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody knows what it's like to have somebody be kind to you,
right,
it's Donald Trump, because he certainly knows how it is to be treated the opposite way.
Correct.
Nobody's going to watch that. And but here's the interesting thing. And Fox News is like really pushing it again. I guess they'd be the debate channel. Oh, we need some ratings.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, stop already.
Right.
So with that being said, I think that's funny. Can we show the Ron DeSantis video when you get a chance here, Joe? I didn't even see this from the debate the other night. Some people thought he won. Some people thought he lost. But we try to find those little nuggets of fun in the midst of all the seriousness, the diamonds in the rough. I was going through in some of the research. Did you see Ron DeSantis? Look at his smile at the end of this quote.
I will not.
Here it is.
Let you down.
I did not see that the first time around. What is that? We need to. Oh, look at that.
That's good. Maybe you could practice in front of a mirror or something.
Try again. I know our DeSantis people are going to be pissed at us. But, ladies and gentlemen, we'll start it from the beginning so you can hear his full quote. Or we'll do it in a second.
That's good. Maybe you could practice in front of a mirror or something.
And I will not let you down.
What was he doing?
I think Arnold does it better.
That's good. Maybe you could practice in front of a mirror or something.
Oh my God. That's funny. Even if you really like Ron DeSantis, and I am not a
we
DeSantis
like Ron, we
hater.
like him.
I do like him. I do like Ron.
Go kick ass in Florida or continue to.
Yes. And see us in 2028. I would vote for him in a heartbeat in 2028 for sure.
I will not let you down.
Right. It's almost like an Elvis Presley lip, kind of, I mean, it was just like,
I will not let you down. I'm sorry. Can we say that again? I mean, oh my God.
I'm going to pee my pants.
I know. So here he is.
And I will not let you down.
You look scared.
Yeah.
Like a deer in the
That's
headlight.
Good. Maybe you could practice in front of a mirror or something.
Oh my God.
I've got tears in my eyes too.
I do too.
We're just having some fun.
Funny.
We've made fun of Trump on this show.
Oh, we make fun of Trump a lot.
Made fun of Biden. We're just having
we
some
make fun of ourselves.
David says, say cheese.
I'm sorry, but that's just funny right there.
I gotta be careful.
Oh, it's funny because everybody...
My mascara may run.
Yeah, mine's running already. Because it's like anybody that's in front of a mirror or in front of a camera, we all do weird stuff. So it's just so funny that I never got that.
I will not let you down. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I think as somebody said, if he's the nominee, you guys will be voting for him. Well, hell yeah.
Oh, I would totally vote for him. I don't have a problem with Ron
Jeff
DeSantis.
says he thinks it was gas at the wrong time.
That very well could be. Yeah, I don't have a problem at all. It's just the timing of how he's being pushed out. That's it. That's it.
For our podcast listeners, we were showing video of Ron DeSantis with a crooked smile. I will not let you down. And then he didn't stay like firm with his smile or his face. He didn't smile big. He was kind of in the middle, kind of like a.
It was a very uneasy smile.
It really was. It was
like crooked. His lip was like, it was going like the old Billy Idol lip. It was on its way there. It stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would have been very bad.
For sure.
But anyway, so maybe if they debated again, we could get some more of those quotes.
Yeah.
His smile would be a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this whole story that Fox is pushing is bad. Then Donald Trump having some fun at Fox's expense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Monday. We're starting the show off fast, having a lot of fun. Donald Trump posted a video making fun of Fox News. And I feel bad because Steve Doocy, he's kind of a clown. He's a clown guy on Fox News. He knows his niche.
Yeah.
And then this is in the morning show. And then they got their hard guy, Brian Kilmeade Moore, kind of snarky.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worked well for a long time. Ratings have been down a little bit. But on Truth Social, Trump had some fun with Fox on their expense in regards to some of the coverage that they were doing. Some of the things that I guess that they said about Donald Trump and his debate. So we're going to show that for you. Do you already have that ready to go? Okay, this is why Donald Trump separates himself. Some people love it, some people hate it, but thank God we have some personality. Here's Donald Trump posting Fox News stuff, making fun of Fox News for what they've said about him.
Unfortunately, by skipping the debates, Donald Trump may actually be helping Joe Biden because he's giving Joe Biden an excuse for not debating Donald Trump. That's one of the things that Ronna McDaniel told the former president when she was trying to.
And what do you think makes those cookies uncommon? They're baking magic ovens and there's no factory. Hey!
And Ducey, and they're talking, well, isn't he playing into, Ronna McDaniel says he's playing into Biden's hands because Biden won't debate him. Biden's not debating. No to Fox. Don't let's treat people like morons. Biden's not debating anybody. They're not even having a primary. So how's he going to use that against Trump? How dumb do you think people are?
Donald Trump may actually be helping Joe Biden.
Tim Scott, Nikki Haley, Vivek, Mayor Suarez potentially, Larry Elder potentially.
That's one of the things that Ronna McDaniel told the former president.
We have to win back the Senate. We have to hold the House and keep Kevin McCarthy as Speaker. Keep Kevin McCarthy as Speaker.
The Murdochs are in back of this. That's what's driving the Keeblels. And here's what I love about what Trump said, John Fredericks. He came out and said, I'm not doing any debates. How about that? I'm not going to do any debates in a primary because there is no primary, and that includes the second Fox debate at the Reagan Library. John Fredericks, you get the last word here, brother.
Yeah, we can.
Well, listen, Steve, if there was ever a time where
gosh. But it is so funny that they're making fun of Fox right now. It's because they really kind of deserve it, in my opinion.
Well, it's all about Trump. I'm telling you, the other stories are good. They are. I watch it. I see it. The only thing where I see them really the only aspect where I really see Fox get into trouble is this whole Trump issue, because they need ratings. They need ratings. They need money. When Tucker left, their money left. It's a problem. Trust me, it's a problem. And by the way, yeah, Ronna McDaniel, she needs to leave. She's terrible. That woman is the worst leader of the Republican Party you could ever have. There's no hope. There's no vision. There's no oomph. There's no energy. There's no substance or sizzle. You got to have a leader in that position.
Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, the record, Paul says, the person we need to hear from is anyone other than the RNC. The record says it all. They're out of touch. Thanks to you, Donald Trump, for posting that, because it is interesting. That was probably one of the dumbest things ever said on TV, ever.
Mm-hmm. Ever.
Donald Trump not being in the debate is actually helping Joe Biden. And I like Steve Doocy. I do. And when you're on a morning show, it's early. You're on for hours and hours. Mm-hmm. I did that life for 6 years. Mm-hmm. You're a walking zombie.
Yeah.
He may not even remember saying it. I'm not kidding.
Right. I like him too. I think he's a little milquetoast.
He's a goofball. He's a clown.
And he's sweet. He's sweet. Yeah. He seems sweet. And his son is, more hard hitting than his daddy is. But, I didn't even realize that they were father and son until like 6 months ago. I don't know where I've been, but I don't watch Fox all that much.
Because you don't watch Fox. That's why.
I mean, I do occasionally, but I didn't even dawn on me until somebody said something about his dad. I'm like, I had no idea.
Hey, Pro Joe, at any time as we move on throughout the rest of the election campaign, could you please feel free to save the Ron DeSantis smile and play it at any time you deem necessary?
Greg was just saying that I should screenshot it and just pop it up every once in a while.
I agree. I agree for sure.
Just trying to keep things nice and easy
absolutely.
as well.
Yes.
This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Pro Joe here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. Of course, you can catch all of our material on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Please like, subscribe, share the show. Let people know. Let people know what we do. There's still people that go, oh my God, how do I find you? How do I know it's different. It's a different way of listening, but the reason we're doing so great compared to radio is because we can do a lot of things here.
Correct.
And it's 8 to 10. It's just a little different. You go to a website instead of a radio station, canceltheshow.com, except you get to watch us and listen to us. Troy said, Jesse Waters said the Maui fire was from a power line. Nothing about direct energy attack. Maybe, maybe not. Maui is now officially saying it. That's why, Troy. That's there. Yeah. But it's interesting that you bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
Because it goes against the Democrats' whole ploy of this was because of climate control and global warming. If it started with the fire, or the fire started with the electric company, it wasn't from what they said.
Correct.
But of course, the media is not going to run with that and tell you the full truth because that would go against what they were saying. Jay said, by the way, that smile from Ron DeSantis is how liberals smile when you ask them if they love America.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you do ask people. If you ask a liberal, do you love America? Well, not more than I do Germany or France or whatever. You know, I love everybody. You'll get that from a liberal. and God forbid, don't be a nationalist.
Oh, my God.
Or you'll get that smile.
Well, we got another BS thing going on right now. Here, you know what? Jessica says, interesting video from ABC News from 9 years ago talking about powerful lasers causing destruction, producing monsoons. Okay, we have another video, a news video, but it's all about Maui. I just wasn't ready to get to Maui.
Jessica is, so you need to
maybe. Mm-hmm. We're gonna make them wait on Maui.
Okay,
is that fine?
Yeah, of course.
But there's a reason. Because we have 3 national health systems, pretty big health systems.
Yeah.
That are now requiring mask because they think the quote COVID hospitalization rate is too high. They're alleging that it's 20% in their states. Okay, listen to this. Where are the 3 hospital systems? 2 in New York, including United Health Services, and 1 in California in Santa Rosa Medical Center, the Kaiser Permanente system, requiring masks. Okay, there will be a push at some places. Once again, a mandate is not a law. An order is not a law. You'll take things into your own hand. You may be escorted by security. It may affect your life, which sucks. You just have to say no if you don't want to do them or ask for the research. Continue to talk about it. Don't let it stop. Be persistent, but be polite as much as you possibly can. This is starting to take hold a little bit. I'm still not going to believe this until it happens because I don't think that even for all the sheeple out there, I don't think there are enough Americans who will really sit back and let this happen again, especially with all the evidence that has come out after. Not opinions, evidence that has come out afterwards. It doesn't help that one of the news stories from the weekend is Joe Biden saying in news, and they do this on purpose, as I tell you, this is how media is planned out. Political parties and their think tank teams and their PACs, they all get together and they decide all these things and how they're going to put it out. Trust me, a lot of money goes into media management, whether candidates are going to do debates, whether they're not going to do debates. There's so much money that the next, and this is what scares me, the next generation of campaign managers are being taught at conferences all across the country. I don't know if you knew this or not, Lizzie, but they're being taught.
I didn't know that.
They go to conferences to learn how to run campaigns to figure out how to make sure that their candidate looks the best. Now, this has been going on probably since the beginning of time, but now it is way out there to tell you how to talk, how to, you're not going to go do this interview. It's not about, hey, let's go out and be honest. Let's do as many debates as we can. It's actually, should we even do a debate?
Yeah.
If if we're doing well, why do people need to know anything more about us just so they can tear us down? Some people agree with this. Most people don't. But those things are happening. So with Joe Biden, they leaked this stuff on purpose. He's going to ask Congress for more funding for a new cupcake to take on the new situation that we have. And, quote, and this is where I think they really throw it out there just to see how the response would be. And he may actually require it or, quote, recommend it for all of America to get. And if he recommends it, then, of course, you know what all media does. It's recommended to go get it. And then people start thinking back. That's when it's up to you, the individual. What are we going to do about this right now?
Right. When he recommended it the last time, that's when all the big corporations made it mandatory there. So Joe Biden knows that he can't really do that. But when he recommends it and there's money involved, and like you said, the campaign people, the big corporations start doing it. But this time, we know. Most of us already knew, but there's the normal average person that doesn't consume political junkiness. They didn't know. And so they put on the mask, they went to work, they took the thing in their arm, but now they know. They have to know. And these corporations better wake up, because I think there is more people that just won't show up to work because they know they're going to lose their job. But in the end.
Yeah, but what if you don't have money? This is where I don't know, though, Lizzie, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. You don't just walk away from jobs if you need money.
Well, that's true.
Is somebody going to take care of your bills? We saw a lot of nurses just in the St. Louis area get fired because they refused to take the cupcake.
Yeah. And that's scary to not have a job. It is. It's scary. We lived it. We lived it where both my husband and I lost a lot because we didn't do the complying. We didn't wear the masks. We fought back. You know, my husband at the time was even at a new job, but he was a manager, and he literally caused a humongous almost walkout. He got all of his employees to agree with him. We're not going to wear it. And if we all don't wear it, then they have no employees. If you push back like that, even at Boeing, in the end, people pushed back. And even Boeing reneged because they had a walkout for 3 days. That's what employees have to do, is they have to find the people who are not sheeple. And there is plenty, but they don't want to be the first one to do it. So you need to go, okay, and get a whole group. Even if you have a group of 10 more will come and 10 more will come. And if you just walk out or threaten to walk out, these companies have to back down. They have to. But see, the problem is so many people don't, because fear overruns so many people. You got to get past the fear and understand, in the end, you may lose something, but you're going to gain bigger in the end.
This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. It's interesting. We love when you guys jump in for the live aspect of the podcast, whether you're listening live or watching taped or listening taped. We do appreciate the comments and the interaction that we have on the show. We do feel it separates it. Jessica says, I was shunned by my conservative family when I refused to get a cupcake for a wedding. I'm ashamed that I complied, I'm sure complied, and got a COVID test 72 hours before the wedding, illustrating that I was safe from the, quote, illness. Never again. I'm so embarrassed.
Well, you don't need to be embarrassed about that. You didn't take something in your arm you didn't want to. You took the test. I don't know if that would give you the C or not. I do understand the pressure of that. And we had a wedding. My daughter had a wedding during this, and we did not require, we found venues that we still had to. She had it in St. Louis County. So you had to have 10 or less at one church, and the reception had 75. So we still had plenty of people, but we found venues that didn't make you do that. So you just think about that, guys. There are the people out there that you can still live your life, maybe not as grandiose as you used to, but you can find ways around it. You can. There is ways around it. And you know what? In the end, I think my family's better for it, because we found out who loved my family anyway and would come, and we didn't care whether they had gotten the you-know-what in their arm or the thing on their face. Most didn't come with the thing on their face. But if they did, we didn't shun them. We just weren't going to do it as a family for my daughter to get married.
Yeah, Jeff says my daughter was forced to get it as a nurse, suffered side effects from it. I know more people who are upset that they chose to.
Yes.
And if that's you too, or any of us chose to get it.
Correct.
Then those who are happy they did.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I don't know what your certain demographics are, or the numbers with your families or your friends. That's what happened. Now, nothing over the top has happened yet across the country. Nothing in the St. Louis area, the Chicago area, San Francisco, New York City, but the hospital systems was what got my attention over the weekend.
Yeah.
That 3 hospital systems, big hospital systems. Of course, 2 of them are in New York, 1 in California. Ultra, ultra, ultra liberal, ultra, ultra, ultra left, ultra, ultra, ultra COVID friendly. Because it was a moneymaker.
Mm-hmm.
If they could get people, I mean, if we already talked about that multiple times, it was a moneymaker.
For sure.
Todd says Sam Page, he's the St. Louis County executive, says that he's just waiting.
And there again, it's for money.
Heather says, I heard 22 states barred mask mandates. Yes. And I believe Missouri will be there as well. But once again, not focusing on this conversation a ton today. It was just that those hospital systems over the weekend did that. Mary says, if masks were required, they'll be coming to St. Charles again to shop.
That's true. They will.
That could happen. That's true. That stuff can happen. And of course, the conversation starts because Joe Biden is set to ask Congress for funding for a new COVID cupcake, so to speak. And everything's going to be just fine. I'm curious, how many cupcake boosters are there? I know one person that had 4 cupcake boosters. I'm not kidding.
Besides the first initial jab?
Yes.
Yeah.
4.
Okay. So
I know one person.
5 shots.
Oh, it's either 4 or 5. I'm curious. I want a record. I want to know what the most is.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have 4? Is that the most?
I don't know. I've heard people have said, just like what you're saying, that somebody got 4, somebody got 5. You know, I have not gobs of liberal friends, but the few that I have, they're like, okay, they cannot wait.
There's
to get
no
the
way
next
you have
one.
one liberal friend, Lizzie.
Okay, well, they're not a friend; they're an acquaintance. Nobody in my inner circle is. But you know what? Prior to the 2006,
they couldn't get past your Trump purse.
No, I couldn't get past my home either if they come up and see the big old flags. And that's absolutely true. I had what I thought were liberal friends prior to 2016. And I absolutely knew we were politically different. And I just love America. And so I love everybody. They just didn't love me. That was the problem. As soon as I came out for Trump, I literally triggered some people. But in the end, it's okay. It really is okay, because for every one that I lost, I got a better friend. So it's fine.
Well, regardless of what decisions are made, Robert makes an incredible point. The hospitals are controlled by the government.
You betcha.
And the insurance companies. So with that being said, they'll make whatever decisions are best for them. For government, it's control. For insurance companies, it's money. And those two things would certainly make sense with decisions that are coming down. Try it, of course, in the 2 most populated states, with New York and California, in those massive, massive hospital systems. Maybe that means they knew that there wouldn't be any pushback from people in those states. We know that they're hardcore. And I'm sorry, as sad as it is, COVID became a red and blue issue.
It did. It really did.
And it remains that to this state. And all you have to do is look at the states.
Yeah.
And you look at the governors who are in place in the states. And you look at the counties doing what they want to do. It's no surprise that hospital systems started to do this in New York and California, where that's happening. So we'll see. Jeff says, better start locking up that toilet paper.
Right.
Stock up, baby. Yeah, maybe not. Aaron says friends are overrated. Only care about what your creator thinks about you is a good way to look at it.
And that is true. That is true. As long as you're okay with God, everything else is okay.
Jeff says the medical industry in America is 100% profit. That's why the government has their greedy hands in it. Of course, we know that as well. And Troy says that BG, Mr. Gates says the next variant will have an 80% death rate. I don't know if I'd heard that. But yeah, we did the breakdown with Dr. David Martin last week, and it was telling.
I got a serious
that COVID
question
had been
for
around.
you, Vic. Are you going to
over
stockpile
and over?
Toilet paper and all this?
No.
Yeah, I did for only a little bit, not a whole lot, but it was just because I wasn't afraid of the actual thing going to get me. It was just, I wanted toilet paper. But now, you know what? I hear other shows and other people saying stockpile because it's really going to come and they're going to lock us down and they're going to whatever. That's again fear mongering. And that's some other conservative podcast. And I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'm going to have enough for my family. But if you just stockpile and hoard, you're not leaving it for anybody else.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to even talk about it.
Okay, let's not even talk about it.
We'll get there, I guess, at some point. Mary says, I read the diabetes drug metformin. I haven't heard of that before. Helps to keep COVID long haul at bay.
It's good to know.
Yeah. I mean, we'd obviously heard about the I word. There's something too. Metformin.
I take metformin.
What do you take metformin for?
Diabetes.
What is it?
Type 2 diabetes. It's to bring your blood sugar down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And it might have a side positive effect as well.
Maybe.
Les says that the KU Medical School or Med Hospital pushed the vax, but they're obviously funded by Big Pharma. Yeah, of course. So anyway, Brenda says, and Clorox wipes.
Absolutely.
They were kind of all over the place when it comes to that. Kevin says, why do taxpayers have to fund cupcake research while Big Pharma invests nothing, takes all the profits, and doesn't have any sort of culpability, responsibility if something goes wrong with said people where they cannot be sued for what they have produced? That's what the emergency use was all about. Don't forget the scorecard. We talk about it all the time. Just remember to be smart. Our pre-diabetes to get your A1C down. Oh, it's an old cheap drug that's been around for a while. Interesting. Would love to have that. And of course, Terry O'Neill says, I had enough TP from my work to share with my neighbors. They were very grateful. Oh, how about that? That's very nice as well.
That's awesome.
Of course, those hospital systems doing what they're doing. We'll continue to follow and talk about that. But I did have at the end of last week, when all this crap started popping up again, three or four different people messaging me or texting me going, is this real? Is this real? Are they really going to try to do this fall? Or is this just kind of a hoax? Is it a scare thing? Is it just trying to test? I don't know. I just don't see any way in hell how they're going to be able to push this through. It just seems like it's too out in the open, and I'm not smart enough to tell. Are they putting it, deep state, the left, the Biden administration, the DOJ, are they putting it out there to see, just to kind of ease it in? Because in life, if you tell somebody one time hardcore, it hits harder than slowly saying something. Well, maybe you get somebody starting to think about it. Well, maybe we'll do this. And then it just kind of eases in instead of a big boom, just hitting you over your head with something. I have no idea. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know if anybody really knows. I know we have our opinions. I just don't see the American public accepting it.
I hope not. I really hope not.
But the American public, it would start with your jobs.
Correct. Of course.
And you need money.
Mm-hmm.
We all need money. And you do what they tell you to do, or you try to sue, and then that takes money and it takes time. The courts are backlogged. I don't even know what you do.
You just say no. Unless you want it. If you want it, take it.
Well, I'm not even just saying about that. I'm talking about precautions to even go into your quote said work. If you're forced to put a mask on.
Well, if you're forced, and as long as they don't make you put anything in your arm, but if they tell you to wear a mask, okay, put it around your ears and put it underneath your chin.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
That's what everybody did. Oh, so many people did that.
One of the dumbest things I think I've ever done in my life.
It's ridiculous, but at least it's on.
Was at Lifetime Fitness. I was running on a treadmill with a mask.
That is ridiculous.
And I was like, F all you mother truckers if you're going to make us do this. And literally, as I'm doing a sprint workout, some woman with purple hair, because we all know it seems like purple hair designates somebody who was on COVID patrol for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
If somebody had purple hair, they were on or green or blue. For whatever reason, it designates, and it does. I know you can't judge a book by its cover, but it designated COVID alert, COVID watcher.
Yeah.
She raced up to the treadmill because my mask just went right underneath my nose. Please put that back up. Please. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of a sprint. And I'm like, oh, and she like got angry. So I had to finish the other 15 seconds of that 30-second sprint.
Oh,
And she's like, your mask is falling down.
that is ridiculous.
And I said, okay. And then she turned around and then she's like pointed at me again. I'm like, I'm trying to like put it up.
You're nicer than me because if I had it and I wanted to run there and I had it on, I didn't. But if I didn't, I would only have it on my chin. And if she kept saying that to me, I would just literally look at her and say, mind your own beeswax, lady.
Oh, and Robert, Derek says, by the way, the color purple in nature is considered poisonous.
Well, there you go, Derek. There you go. I don't know.
Maybe that's done on. Anyway, so but you may get pushed into situations or you don't get to do. So you're going to have to sacrifice. That's the problem because everybody will be faced with those situations. So do I know? No, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anybody really knows unless you're in some elite group in a back room with some sort of information that nobody else has that, yes, something's going to be released again and there's nothing you can do.
Well, you can.
I just know that I'll never go into a club again.
Yeah, you avoid
ever
the gym.
With a mask on, ever again, especially get on a treadmill.
Correct.
With I'm lucky I didn't freaking die.
Right. My daughter passed out. My youngest passed out, and we had to take her to the emergency room, and she was under oxygen deprivation from wearing a mask. That was literally.
I mean, how stupid were we?
Right.
Literally. Anybody else have any of those stories? I mean, Joe, could you see me doing a sprint workout on a treadmill at Lifetime with a damn mask on?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
If they do that shit again, there is no way in hell. They deserve to lose every customer they get.
I have a confession to make on how liberal I was.
How long ago were you liberal?
It was right around COVID. I mean,
but that was like a 2-year time period. Like, when's the last that was there a day where you're like,
I'm done.
Brush my hands of this. I'm done with.
Well, when I was about to confess to you that I used to get into fist fights over masks.
So you were the purple-haired masker.
I mean, all right.
Fist fights? Wearing bars?
No, I actually drove for Uber at this time.
I love this.
So I was wearing a mask and people would get in and basically make fun of the mask and everything. And I'm just like, I didn't want to hear it. I'm just like, look, man, it's required for me to do this job.
Okay, that's different. Yeah.
And
you're not starting it. You're not provoking.
No, but I would
somebody.
kick people out of my car for making fun of me for wearing it because it was something that I had to do, So because if somebody reported you for not wearing a mask, then you couldn't drive anymore. So that was,
So they were making fun of you in the vehicle.
Yeah.
For wearing a mask.
Right.
What did Uber say about that? Is there something that you're supposed to do? Is there some sort of protocol?
No, they didn't really have any protocol. So it
you made it the Projo
usually
protocol.
Ended up on the side of the road.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That is funny. Well, you know what, Brenda?
Dude, I would not want to get hit by you, man.
No, that would not be good. You know what Brenda said? And gosh, this is so true. Standing on the damn arrows. I remember being in the grocery store and how did they determine that it was 6 feet to stop the spread or 8 feet somebody made that shit up. And when you're in the store, how dumb did you feel? I don't think some people felt they were dumb. They're like, okay, I'm going to stand on this arrow and then I'm going to stand on this arrow and then I'm going to stand. I'm thinking, what the hell is this? Like we are kindergartners in the grocery store. And I think after that, people got meaner in the grocery stores. People now whack you with their carts. I mean, people got mean during that period of time and you had to walk on the line. Even the people that were compliant, that pissed them off in the end because us that were not compliant, they are literally over there going, how come they don't have to do it? How come they don't have to do it? And they really didn't want to do it either, but they were virtue signaling. So they're like, so they started to hate the non-maskers and it became this whole I hate you thing in the grocery store. It was
definitely a mean time.
We got to talk more about this. This is, because we got onto the subject today regarding hospital systems across the country now, quote, requiring masks to enter. It hasn't gone any further than that, and it's only in New York and California, but could something else happen? I'm not here to tell you it's going to happen. I don't know. I wish I could tell you that. I just remembered some of the stupid things that I did when I was complying, which was silly, like sprinting with a mask on. Projo, there was one question I had to ask you up about the story. Because you were driving for Uber and people would get in, you had to wear a mask in an Uber. I had to do that. I remember it. I remember one time this guy accepted this. I was coming, I had a bag with me. I can't remember, something happened to my car, but I had I had to tie my sock around my face because
Oh my
I didn't
gosh.
have a mask. You know what it was?
What?
The mask that I was using was soaking wet from the gym because it was the blue one. And I had to like
Oh.
tie like a no, it wasn't the sock. It was my shorts. I had another pair of shorts.
God.
Yeah.
Not the sweaty ones, but
Okay,
another
all
pair
right,
of shorts.
thank God.
I had to literally tie it around my face in an Uber. Or it was an Uber or Lyft. I can't remember.
See, I was the Uber driver that I never forced anybody to wear the mask, but I had to wear it. So when
Yeah.
people made fun of me, I got upset.
Well,
But
that's understandable.
Right.
I mean, that is understandable. But Vic, you're one of many people that put like underwear on their head or they wrap just like a regular scarf. And I remember going to a Costco and they told me I had to have one and it was cold outside and I had a scarf and I pulled it up over my face. But then after I did that, I wasn't even in the door. I'm like, screw this. I'm canceling my Costco's membership. I look like a freak.
Brendan says the VA still makes you wear a mask for appointments. Had no idea. It's interesting.
I
That's
had
where we
no
appreciate
idea
you guys.
I had no idea.
To make the Troy says Schnucks just finally took the plastic shields down. It depends on the Schnucks. I don't know where that was. It's been a long time since I saw the plastic shields. That's for sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in a long, long time. Yeah.
it seems like they're all coming back.
People talking about getting chastised for walking down the aisle the wrong way.
Yes. Yes.
Brenda says, I got yelled at Kohl's for not standing on an arrow.
Think about
6
how
feet equals
ridiculous
grave
that
death.
is.
That's why it's hard for me to believe that any of this stuff could possibly come back because of all of the craziness from the first time. And, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And I just have a feeling that they can't do it. Maybe they'll try to do something, but it'll be pushed in another direction. It won't be exactly the same. I'm not quite sure how they'll push that through. I just don't see it happening like it was before.
It might happen just in some areas.
There's no way.
Some little pocket areas it will, because there are some mask holes that they like it. They like the actual. I'm not talking about the ones that do it for health, and I'm not making fun of people like Joe or any of that. And if I see somebody with it on, I'm thinking something in my head, but I don't say anything to them. But there are people still that are mask holes. They love it. They love it. They can't wait. I don't know if they have bad teeth or bad breath, or I don't know.
This is Pro Joe in his Uber wearing his mask. But here's the thing. I'm never going to call anybody a mask hole, and I don't have a problem with you doing it. I don't care if somebody wears a mask, but don't force people to wear a mask. That's my point in that whole situation. Hey, if you want to get a cupcake, have at it.
Right. You do. You
get as many cupcakes as you want. If you want to wear a mask all day, that's fine. Just don't force it on me.
Yeah, I don't mind masks. It keeps their bad breath to themselves. You know?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And it identifies two different kinds of people. I'm sorry, it does. Either somebody really who is fearful, they're elderly, or they do have, I never heard of the word before, this comorbidities. I get that. But there are some people that are perfectly healthy, and there's something that makes them feel good with that on their face. There is those type of people. They're not.
Here's the other side of it from Donna's perspective. And I know that we may sound like we're all hardcore one way, but we do appreciate opinion as long as it's fair, as long as it's not demeaning, as long as it's not cussing out people or cussing us out. Well, maybe we'll start accepting that, I guess. Donna says, if the mask thing bothers you and irritates you, then it becomes your problem, not the person wearing it.
That is very true. That is very true. And I don't disagree with her on that. It only bothers me big time when I don't want to wear it either, but when you put it on my child, she got problems because she wore one. So that's why I don't want somebody to make her do it again. And if you get a whole bunch of people, it's power in numbers, people. That's my problem. If I walk into a room and almost everyone has a mask, and you're right, I do feel a certain way. I will walk out because I don't want to wear one. It's power in numbers. If you go in a big group, like some counties, like the county I live in, hardly no one ever wore a mask until a very brief period of time the grocery stores made you. Then you just go across the river and everyone had one. So it is power in numbers. It's who your elected officials are. I would live in a county that doesn't make you do it. And then if you want to, knock yourself out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So we'll continue to follow what happens. I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't either.
But we're getting some of these updates that continue to try to maybe push the ball forward a little bit, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Chris says 80% of those that have been wearing the face diapers still are healthy. Because they're still healthy. I'm trying to find that again. Are healthy enough to not.
Right. A lot of people that wore the mask, you didn't even have to. That was the point I think that he was making is if you feel like you have to wear one because you have medical issues, then by all means. But there's many people that don't have any medical issues at all and they wear them.
I'm concerned about what now is happening. Karen says, I walked into a doctor's office without a mask. Please let us know when. And the lady at the desk shoved a mask at me and I threw it back at her. Was that the end of the story? Was that recent? I would love to know what kind of doctor's office that is too.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. And like you said, we don't know where this is going, but we do need to be prepared because we know what they did at the last election time. We know election is coming up. And this one is, if it's ever been more heated than now, I don't even know. I thought 2016 was bad.
No, this is like 10 times.
It is. It's 10 times
I'm
worse.
glad you brought that up too, because here's the other thing too, that I think, I was thinking about this over the weekend as well. I still think all of this is about election interference, election, whatever you want to call it. I just think that it's, get your attention off real topics, get your attention, something else to argue about, something else to start talking about. Is it going to, is it about voting? Is it about the only thing that, and while most of us don't feel it was a positive for him, the only thing that, quote, Joe Biden ever had any positive, quote, even though I still don't think he's running for election, I think that they would cancel an election or he would be out before they'd let him run a normal election again. I still feel as if that whole situation is based upon getting our minds off of what's going on.
Correct. This is all a distraction.
He had
right
pretty
now.
good ratings nationally for his handling of COVID. I'm not kidding you. Those were numbers that were being pushed out even by the independent polling services, which I consider myself to be independent, and I don't trust many of them, saying that he had a general positivity rate when it came to the handling of COVID or his administration, as we know. So don't forget about that. These things do occur. It's to get you thinking about other things, not to focus on the border, inflation, China, Russia, foreign affairs, the school districts taking over everything, which we've talked a little bit about, which is unfortunate because now these things get pushed into play when everybody's attention is on a national topic like this. These things happen. It's so hard to trust anything anymore.
It is. You have to do research yourself.
This ain't the 80s. This ain't the 90s. It's not even the 2000s. It's 2023, and it's a time nobody thought would be here. Or many people didn't think we would be at the point we are even 10, 15 years ago. No way. Maybe not even 5 years ago pre-COVID.
Yes, I think so much has changed in a decade. But you're right. Even 5 years ago, many of us would never have thought we went through what we just went through. Never in a million years would we have thought that.
Jessica brings up a great point too, Lizzie, is the fact that she says the problem is their deep state government, they're pushing hospital systems. They're pushing this new variant is targeting children. Okay, here we go with the heartstrings. These are the kind of tactics that can be used. Last one was directed at grandma and older people.
Yes. She's right. Jessica is very right on this.
Once again, know exactly how to tug, and as I just said, on people's heartstrings.
Yeah. Well, they saw the mama bears come out about not wearing them. So she's exactly right, as Jessica usually is. They're going to come after the kids now. Even if it's not true, they're going to want to hurt the kids, send them back at home. And in the end of the day, it isn't about our health. We already know that. It is totally about, mail-in ballots, and it's about what they're hiding. It's those two things.
Well, as you hear certain things going on in your communities, maybe it can be as small as your local level. It's still a big deal. If there's a business, if there's something, let us know. We talk about it. We try to get that word out there, not only in the St. Louis area, but all across the country. We want to know what's going on, what people are trying to do, what politicians are trying to push, because there's so many other things that are going on right now. And once again, when we're here, if you have an opinion that's different than what you see, it seems to be the most of what may be online or what's being talked about, it's all right. It's all right to have a different opinion, to bring something else to the table so that we can talk about it. We always just say, hey, try to have a point, try to be somewhat respectful. Don't wish for somebody to die. Don't call somebody, some horrible, horrible name. Let's just try to freaking find out what your opinion is to move forward so we can go there. Donna says, I agree. I don't want to be forced to wear one, but I do wear them. And this is important for her perspective. I do wear them. She says she wears masks to keep the air warmer when it's cold because my asthma and all the perfume smells, it makes me cough. I can tell you what.
That makes sense.
I don't know what it is, but there's a perfume smell.
Yeah.
When I smell it, it makes me sick to my, and I've smelled it like 3 or 4 times and it must be, it just, whatever it is, holy crap, Lizzie.
Yeah.
I can't, like stuns me. And I'm like, a smell could literally stun me. And I'm not a small guy and I'm pretty damn healthy.
There are smells that kind of can get to you. And if you are an asthmatic, my mom's an asthmatic too. And there's definitely perfume smells. There's definitely things that trigger her. Now, in her case, she has worn masks too for that reason, but she found that in her case, it made it worse because then she was breathing in her own air. So everybody has to do what they have to do. And like she was saying, what are you going to do to keep yourself safe from the next variant? Well, what I'm hearing from doctors is this variant is not even as strong. They're trying to scare you and saying it's stronger. But what I'm hearing and finding out from doctors, it's mutated and it's not even as strong. And the best thing that you can do is keep your vitamins up, stay healthy, make sure you have enough vitamin D. And I am no doctor, but that's just what I was told by a doctor when I had it was you need to be healthy and you just need to keep your health up.
Good nutrition, good sleep, exercise, vitamin D3, take care of yourself. Aaron says, Vic, the perfume you smelled was the old Avon perfume from grandma's that they would wear. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Could be.
Maybe I smelled some of that stuff. Oh,
yeah.
It was nasty, nasty, nasty. Also, Brendan says, I was in the Navy during COVID. Before they issued masks, they put out an all hands video on how to make T-shirt mask. Yeah, I made a shorts mask in the back of an Uber because I wasn't going to be allowed in the back, and I wasn't going to go to blows. I was not into that. I never would. I can't. How long did you? Okay, what was going through your brain, Joe, when you literally were outside of a car in a fight over COVID and mask?
I can't believe how incredibly stupid this is.
That sums it up. It was so stupid. And
I'm
we were
assuming
fighting over it.
There wasn't video, right?
Oh no, definitely. Well, yeah, no. I got a dash cam after that incident. So
when was the final? How long do you think you've been liberal free?
Liberal free.
I guess 2019, 2020.
Okay. All right. There you go.
You know what? Those are my favorite people to talk to, are people that were one way and due to something huge that happened, become different. And you are the prime person. Kind of Eric's like that too.
You have this trust in your government that you grew up, pledging allegiance to the flag, and you think that everybody else has the same enthusiasm that you do.
Correct.
And then you realize when something like this happens that there are people out there that don't have your best interest in their heart.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just that was the realization right there.
You saying that actually gives me more empathy for people when I walk out this door, that there's great people that are not right of center. They
have
really
been indoctrinated.
Yes. They just think that the government's going to take care of you and the United States is still really great and we can still give money to Ukraine and we can still give, money to Brazil and we can just kumbaya. That's a great way to live, honestly, until boom, something hits you smack
until it
in the
hits
face.
you in the face and starts really affecting your life.
Yeah.
Then you realize, oh, okay, wait a minute. There's something not right here.
Yeah. Speaking of something not being right, Vivek Ramaswamy, we're going to get to his video in just a second, a little bit of the deep dive on him, which you don't want to miss. Oliver Anthony, the hottest music sensation going, wanting to make sure that people understand he's pissed that the Republicans and Fox News used his song to promote the debate because he says it's ironic. He's like, those are the exact people I'm referring to in my song.
Yeah.
He's not liberal. He's not conservative. And he wants people to know that. But I also have something for Oliver too, though, that he needs to think about because I get pissed. It's easy to take a down the middle approach.
Mhm.
And not anybody can say, well, I'm against everybody. I'm just down. I want everybody to be happy. Yeah, that sounds good, but that's not what's actually happening in this country. And if everybody just says, oh, I'm just down the middle and I just want everybody to be happy, well, guess what? Somebody's going to take power.
Yeah, somebody is, whether you like it or
And
not.
that's the conversation that people don't want to go to the next level because that's a more difficult conversation to have.
Mhm.
It's not cookies and lemonade poolside. It's not sunshine and rainbows and everything happy. And it's one of those things where, oh, I'm going to be forced to do something or say something that I don't want to. So Oliver will get into his video and his quote. We'll break down what the latest in the Maui situation is and what the reality is when you hear 2,000 or 2,500 Maui children missing. And also the directors from the Blind Side movie coming out and setting Michael Oher's comments straight. Yeah, we'll see how many people actually run this story after you first heard Michael Oher getting his, 15 minutes of fame again, so to speak. Lots to get to still. But first, we want to thank Complete Auto Body Repair. Once again, Complete Auto Body Repair for being our show sponsor. I mean, literally to take care of everything with your vehicle, A to Z. Several people throughout the St. Louis metro area that live in this area and, of course, listen to the show, take their cars to Curtis and crew. You can't go wrong. They're always looking for employees. 7 climate-controlled facilities for their techs. They're looking for salespeople as well. As a matter of fact, we had somebody listening to the show about a week and a half ago who just had an interview with Sandy Travis over there, wants to leave as the auto body tech of another place to go over to their place completely. So once again, we appreciate everybody listening and jumping in on these opportunities with these other advertisers. Strategic Air Services, of course, the best in private flying, luxury flying. They're going all over the country. It may shock you. Go to strategicairservices.net to check out their prices because depending upon where you're flying and how many people you have, it makes no sense to fly commercial when you can fly Strategic Air Services. Kathy Helbig Strick, Steve Strick, Experience Realty Partners, 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. If you have any real estate or mortgage questions, you're not going to get better advice than you're going to get from Kathy or Steve. They've proven it for over 25 years. Kathy's the best in the business. She comes on every Wednesday to give her advice. She proves it here every Wednesday. They always know what's happening with the latest when it comes to that. They also have New Age Health and Wellness, New Age Health and Wellness. NewAgeHealthWellness.com. We always get caught up in healthy and how new technology, new things can help you. And by the way, have you gotten your results yet, Lizzie?
I have gotten my results.
Do you want to share them or whatever?
Literally, I wasn't low on anything. Which was
that's
really,
great.
Well, I take that back. I was low
because you and I aren't exactly the spring chickens, so to speak.
No, not at all. I'm the oldest one on the show, so I thought I would have a whole bunch of stuff wrong. I am only low on B12, so I am taking B12 shots.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
And your experience so far?
Fine. No issues whatsoever.
And your experience with New Age?
Yes, I went in last week, got all the results. It's really easy peasy, and then I'm going to just take the shots at home. She did ask me. She's like, "Do you want to lose any weight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, now that I'm on the camera, I could lose about 10 pounds or so." So I am also taking semaglutide.
Okay.
So
awesome.
I'm taking
you
that.
You got to let us know how that goes.
Yes. And no, I'm not having any issues whatsoever with it.
Yeah,
That's
I could use a few pounds too.
Well, I didn't think I needed to lose any until I see myself on the camera, and I'm like, God, okay, 10 pounds, I got to get off.
Well, just be careful. The camera always makes us look. I've had people tell me that when we do our reels, it doesn't even look like me. Like my head looks like 2 times the size of what it normally is.
Really big. But she said 10 pounds would be great and safe. So I'm going to do it until I lose 10 pounds, however long that takes.
Also, thanks to Vehicle Protection Group, they're still looking for a couple people to answer inbound phone calls and make a lot of money with vehicle protection. That's Todd at vpcnetwork.com. Just give them an email. Ask them what they have. Todd at vpcnetwork.com. They have Todd at vpcnetwork.com. They have a couple different shifts that you can jump in as well. So that's great as well. Greenlight Dispensary, the largest dispensary in the state of Missouri. They're also in other states around the country, Arkansas, West Virginia. They're growing. Their size allows them to have the best products, the most products, and they're able to bring them to you at a better price because they have so much quantity. They also have proven to have the most flower when it comes to cannabis places in the state of Missouri. And you can jump in on them. Rockwood Charcoal, the best pure charcoal in the country. It's a national brand. You can go check out Rockwood, look them up. You're sponsoring or jumping in with a guy who sponsors this show, Jonathan Heslop. It is nationwide. He swears it's the best charcoal in the country. If you don't believe it, try it out. And remember, you've got great real charcoal where you can break it apart with your hand and there's no fillers inside. That goes from that standpoint as well. And of course, we're grateful for Wendy's as always. Wendy's featured on America's Best Restaurants last week as well. They did a really good job. They did like a 25-minute segment.
That's great.
On Wendy's in the Chesterfield Valley, which was great. By the way, the former Urge lead singer was there on Friday night playing at Wendy's as well. And I know you're a big Urge fan.
I am.
And they were a massive St. Louis band, I don't know, some time ago.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. But yeah, Steve and one of his bandmates, they still do a duo every once in a while. So yeah, they were doing their duo at Wendy's.
And that is and if you guys have any other partners that you think that could jump in with us, let us know. You can go to canceltheshow.com, click on the partners page. There's literally a link there of our advertising packages that people can jump in with us per month. Let Lizzie know or myself. You can email us over here at Cancel the Show. That would work. I'm at vic@canceltheshow.com. What is your email? What's
My
the
email
best
is Lizzie with an IE, LIZZIE @cancelthisshow.com.
All right. We appreciate you jumping in today. It is August 28th. This is cancelthisshow.com, the podcast on this Monday. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. And by the way, Derek Pratt just jumped in. He says merch is on the way this week. That's right. Cups, shirts, hats. We'll have a Shopify store for you. It'll be easy. We're grateful for you guys jumping in as well. Just let us know if you want to be able to purchase something. You'll have that opportunity too. We're modeling that. We're getting pictures on the website as well, and we'll certainly let you know about that. Jessica says, I used to get so annoyed listening to the Urge practice at Herschel's house. Completely interrupted our TV programs. I'm not sure what that meant at Herschel's house, but that's funny. People still remember that. Okay. One thing that we have to dive into that was from a political standpoint, information started to come out last week because in our opinion, I know Fox News did a poll that actually, well, Ron DeSantis won the debate. No, he didn't. He was fine. He wasn't bad. He wasn't great. He was just kind of like his smile. It was just kind of like.
Right. I've seen Ron better before, for sure. He's had better days.
Vivek Ramaswamy won that debate. He said everything. He sounded great. He was the target everybody went after. He seemed to enjoy it. He had all the good comebacks. And then because I brought this up after the debate last week, I said the only thing that made me question was, one, he took George Soros money for a scholarship.
Correct.
When he said he didn't have money.
Mm-hmm.
And two, he doesn't have any voting record. So we really don't know.
Right.
We don't know. You have to see how people vote. And I'm sorry, conservatives. There have been people who've called themselves conservatives and gone out and done exactly the opposite and not made you happy if you voted for said conservative. Well, as soon as in the day after, the 2 days and all throughout the weekend, I kept seeing videos and deep dives on Vivek. And I was like, damn, I really wanted to think that this guy had hope, but I've also learned that you can't trust everything that you see. So here is Vivek. Here's a little bit of a deep dive on Vivek and what's going on with him.
Which video is this?
I thought I sent it to you, the Vivek Ramaswamy video.
I don't have Vivek.
Let me check it out.
Well, and the thing with Vivek, even before the debate, there was things that I was seeing that I wasn't so sure of. People were telling me that he's with Big Pharma, took Soros money, but one of the things that I noticed is that he literally stole a line from Obama. And he was kind of giving me Obama feels, not about race, not that at all. But it was that he was so charismatic and saying things that I think he couldn't follow through with. And it bothers me when people say things they can't follow through with. And he's trying to be a mini Trump. And it was just my gut. And I know you can't go on feelings, but just a gut. There's just something about him that bothers me. And so people, after listening to the show, kept sending me all kinds of stuff. And it kind of solidified what I think about him. He doesn't have a voting record. He says things. And when he stole the exact line, and what was it? Something about, I'm the skinny guy with a funny name. And when you take that Obama video and you take him saying it, it's word for word the same. Now, I know a lot of us say word for word things with other people, but there's just something about him where when I see DeSantis, I know that some donors gave him money and his donors are propping him up, but DeSantis doesn't give me the same kind of creepy void. I would, with a shadow of a doubt, vote for DeSantis if Trump wasn't running. And of course, I will vote for anybody on that ticket. But DeSantis, I think, other than taking lobbyist money, and they all do, unless you're Trump, there's no candidate that doesn't take lobbyist money but Trump. And even then, he takes donations. He just isn't beholden to lobbyists, but he takes personal donations. But DeSantis, you can go down and find his thing. We do know how he fixed Florida. So he does have a proven record of being a badass, probably the absolute best governor, at least in my lifetime. And he did great. And I would have liked it, and I live, Missouri is a decent, good state. But we didn't even have the outward push by the governor as Ron DeSantis. So he still, even though he was kind of, a milquetoast, lame kind of a guy in the debate, he's still a very viable candidate. So I don't know, other than his smirky smile, that he helped or hurt himself. He just has handlers that are not doing the best by him at all. But Vivek, I don't know. The guy is like kind of, I don't know about that guy.
The interesting part about it is, and I can't find the specific video right now, I've got it somewhere, I'm looking for it, is it was no more than a year ago that he was ripping Donald Trump. Just remember, we're just trying to be fair here. It's not coming out. He was ripping Donald Trump for January 6th.
Correct.
He said that Mike Pence did everything perfect. And he did accept scholarship money from George Soros.
Yes.
Because he said he didn't have any. But he also allegedly started up a company where he got money from the government for an Alzheimer's drug, made a ton of money, and it didn't work.
Right. And it didn't work. And I know, just like Joe, up until 2019, thought a different way and can switch. And maybe Vivek can too. But Joe isn't running for president necessarily. Maybe you could, Joe. And then, he wrote that book and totally bashing Trump.
Well, Joe thinks he went and found it. So I appreciate it. Do you have it?
I'm looking for it in our text. I think I know what video you're talking about.
I thought you said, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
And Mary's right. There's something phony about him. There's like Kevin's on the chat line saying he could always sell toothpaste because, man, that guy does have some good teeth. He's got great teeth, although all of them up there had great teeth. But he seems phony baloney. That's what, to me. And I thought, to be honest, Obama was phony baloney. And I had a lot of friends that were independents that voted for him due to the healthcare, and it turned out he was worse than phony baloney. And that's my problem with Vivek. I could obviously be proved wrong, and a lot of people think he should be given a chance, but we can't just give phony baloney people a chance right now when our country is in so much peril. And it probably doesn't matter anyway, because Trump is going to be the candidate, but I'm sure that they're all hoping that I don't know. I kind of feel like Vivek kind of hopes Trump goes to jail. That's what I think. And his book, like if somebody can find his book and send it to one of us, but he wrote a book about that kind of stuff too. And he was all a Pence fan. And if you're a huge Pence fan, then you probably will like him. But most of us that are people that are going to vote for Trump do not like Pence. We just don't. Well, I don't know anybody that likes Pence. Look at his debate. He didn't debate well. He couldn't get a word in edgewise. And
it's the Vivek thing. I just wanted to break down a little bit. So, we didn't have to show you a video that they had, but you can break it down and talk about what actually was happening. Just be aware, do your homework. If you love him, great. If you don't, that's fine. He did. There are some similarities to Barack Obama when he first burst on the scene out of nowhere.
That's what scares me about him, I think.
The fact that he won George Soros money scares the hell out of me too. That last week when I brought that up, I was like, oh, and then I didn't realize that he was ripping Donald Trump a year ago. Yeah, and then now in less than a year, he's calling him the best president in the 21st century. That made me go, oh, okay. He has a lot of creative, unique ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little cringe factor when I saw the video of him in his tight tennis shorts and nothing else, hitting tennis balls.
Yes.
I was just like, okay, so just beware of everything that's going on, and make sure you know what you're voting for from that standpoint.
Well, and
we're going to show the deep dive a little bit more about what's happening with him right now. Or maybe.
or maybe technical difficulty. Oh, here it comes.
Let me just address a question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight. Who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage? I'll tell you, I'm not a politician.
Of a mill worker's son who dares to defy the odds. The hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too.
So who is Vivek Ramaswamy? The Obama plagiarizing Big Pharma CEO, who wrote a book less than a year ago in which he compared Trump to sore loser Stacey Abrams, said he respects Pence, and says that Mike Pence did the right thing on January 6th. A man who tweeted out, "Well said, George Soros," and seemingly even parroted his rhetoric on open societies. A man who took money for his law school from a Soros fellowship, said he did it in a video defending himself, quote, "when I didn't have the money."
When I didn't have the money and it was a merit scholarship.
Yet Fox News reported that he made millions of dollars that year and $1 million every year for a couple years prior, so he lied about that. A man who made a fortune off of a failed Alzheimer's drug, and a man who just last year wrote a Wall Street Journal op-ed in which he said, "The most important step in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic was the distribution of vaccines." That's in 2022. So who is Big Pharma salesman Vivek? Well, he's whoever you want him to be, because just like Obama, he'll say whatever he has to say, even copying Obama, to tell the naive and foolish sheeple what they want to hear. Everyone's giving this guy softball interviews and weak debates. Vivek, if you want a real challenge, come on my channel. I don't buy your shtick at all.
And there you have it. So we were talking about most of what the gentleman said right there, but I just wanted to do it in a summed up way because there was a couple things we may not have covered. Does that make you think any differently?
It did me for sure. When I saw the debate, I was already kind of iffy about him, but I thought he did a decent job. But there was just something that, like I said, my stomach hurt when he got done. But now hearing all this other stuff, he's just a no. And I hope he's not the VP. I hope not. He's a no for me.
I don't see Donald Trump picking him as a VP if Donald Trump is the nominee. I don't see any way in hell that happening. But we did want to at least get that out there. We wanted to let people know some of the information that we'd seen with him because he did become so damn popular very fast. Yes. And it reminded us of somebody else.
Yes, it did.
That's for sure. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds great. We'll go ahead. We'll do this as well.
Yeah.
This is canceltheshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. Projo, thanks again for finding that video. We appreciate it. We had something else that has come up over the weekend, and because it was a big story 2 weeks ago, we addressed it last week just a little bit, and that's regarding a situation surrounding Michael Oher. We know he had a lawsuit, a financial lawsuit against the Tuohys over the movie The Blind Side. And did I knock myself out? Okay, so you don't see me. I was wondering what happened there in regards to starting it back up. And that's fine as long as we had Lizzie. We can
still see you, and we can still see you. Joe just can't see you, but everyone else is seeing you. So don't pick your nose because they see you.
The Tuohys, of course, took in Michael Oher as a kid in high school, made sure that he was studying, make sure he could go to high school, make sure he could graduate, took him off the streets. You know the story, the blind story. You also know that he came out alleging that they tricked him into a conservatorship, stole money from him, kept him from millions of dollars of money that he should have because of the movie. And of course, it made the whole situation with the movie for many people kind of ugly and sad, unfortunately, and it shouldn't be the case. Well, the Tuohys came out, flatly denied it, said that they all received the same amount of money, that they never took anything. They loved Michael. They wished him the best. And now the directors of the movie have come out and guess what? They said that he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
The directors, where's local media? Where's all those people who said, can't trust white people? Where's all the people who were trying to create a race storm with everything with Michael Oher? Yeah, the Tuohys were worth millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars before they brought him in.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't need the money. They were trying to help out a kid, and they still say they love him despite Michael's greed. And clearly the man's going through greed right now. Nobody turns their back on their family like that. And the reason we say this, or I say this, is because of what the directors have come out and said. We're reporting what the Tuohy said and what the director said. Both producers of the movie have said in a statement to People magazine that the family, including Michael Oher himself, made exactly the same amount of money, of about $767,000. The deal was consistent with the marketplace at the time for the rights of relatively unknown individuals. Therefore, it did not include significant payouts in the event of the film's success. So none of them got tons of money because they did what they did. That was the money they got for being relatively unknowns, and they had no idea if the movie was even going to be good or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those things you can take in life. Take no money, or you take a contract, and that's what happened. Troy says BLM got to him. I don't have any proof of that. The only proof I have is that Michael Oher brought a frivolous lawsuit against the Tuohys, according to the Tuohys and according to the directors and producers and everybody associated with the film, including the book's author. Everybody says the exact same thing except Michael Oher. Mm-hmm. And he has no proof of anything that he's saying. Well, I got tricked into a conservatorship. Okay, you wouldn't have played college football if you weren't in a conservatorship. The Tuohys helped you. And it frustrated me. There's certain things that hit all of us. This one really pissed me off because race is already an issue in some aspects of America, and we know that. And then when you have a black man using race against a family that was very public in regards to helping him, and it became a big-time movie, that makes it even worse. And then I saw an African-American man who I know associated with the University of Missouri post it, and then all these people, African-Americans, talking about how you can't trust white people, that white people will steal anything the black person has. That's why I got pissed off.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just this one person. And this person has a high-profile job at the University of Missouri, and he's an acquaintance of mine. And he posted it. And you know what? I went back and checked. Not that he's living rent-free in my mind because I'm not losing sleep over it, but just to check. He didn't do any updates.
Right.
He just let people spew hate all over his Facebook page on something he created without any intention of telling the full story. And that's what pisses me off. People using race like Michael Oher did to try to get money. And now we give you the full update, as we always try to do on this show. Michael Oher is bringing what appears to be a frivolous lawsuit because he wants money and or needs money.
Well, and people in the chat line are saying that he made millions of dollars. So he frittered it away. And he obviously doesn't have the love for the Tuohys that the Tuohys have for him, because the Tuohys love him like a child. He clearly just used them all this time. And yes, somebody could have gotten to him. Maybe he did love him. But you just don't, if you have any moral character at all, you don't turn on your family. He doesn't think they're family. He just sees them as a money cash cow and wants more.
Well, I don't care if he blew through his money. Lots of people do that. I get it. What I care about is lying.
Me too.
And trying to make, and like what you said, and trying to make the Tuohys out to be something bad. And you guys know, and I called it out when I saw it, you see people try to instigate race. Mm-hmm. Shame on you. That's bad. You cannot do, this country already has enough issues. Don't play the card. Don't play the victim when it comes to race, especially when Michael Oher never would have went to college, never would have had an opportunity to make the tens and tens of millions of dollars that he did in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I am grateful. And now the Tuohys have to walk around with this for the rest of their life, by the way, because of what one man said, because many people don't have time to get into all of the details. They'll just hear the headline. Oh, did they do this or did they do that? And then if somebody says something about you or they don't know the full story, they always think that about you.
Yeah.
And wherever the Tuohys go, that's in the back of their mind. Oh, is somebody staring at me? Even if they don't care, they're like, oh, is somebody doing this to me? Is somebody doing that? And they're always having to be defensive from that point forward. And that's why I felt it was reckless, this guy who I know, posting the story without posting all the details, especially when the details have been made public.
Yeah. Absolutely. And other than, like Tammy saying here on the line, you know, what is the time frame? Did he hurt his head? And you brought that up the last time. Unless he has
possible CTE.
Unless he has some sort of brain damage, there is from football, there's no excuse for this.
Well, somebody else said he had the other 3-letter problem, BLM.
Yes. I think it's more that. than anything else. That it's the BLM and the lack of love for his family. He didn't love them the same as they loved him. He was a user. He used them. He got into football.
Well, I don't even think I don't know if he used them. I'd be curious. Why do you think, or how do you think he used them?
Well, they had a lot of money and he lived with them. He didn't have to.
But they asked him.
That's true. They did.
And they
did.
brought the conservatorship to him because he wasn't going to be able, he had to have a family.
But he took it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he did, because he wanted to play college football.
Correct. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't have taken it at all, but he just saw them from the beginning as a cash cow that saved him, and they still owe him. He doesn't love them the same, and it's sad. And you're right. I think, well, like Jay's saying, it's the Kaepernick syndrome. That's absolutely what it is. Same thing. Same exact thing.
Aaron says, so if you ignore the kid and let him live in misery in the hood, you're a racist. If you adopt him and he becomes an NFL player, then you're a racist. This is the damned if you do, damned if you don't paradigm. The race hustle has created America. And that's what I said.
Yeah.
I just hope that families who are of means don't turn their back on people because of what Oher did. But at the same point in time, you can't expect ever. I've been burned this way.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody else felt like I burned them in my life, because when you do things for people, you can't do it expecting something back.
Correct.
You got to do it out of
the goodness of your heart.
Because I've done it for people and like, wow, they're not treating me so. It's almost like you create this, unless you mentally and emotionally get on the right track, don't expect something. Because if you do something and you expect it back and it doesn't come, then you've created an unrealistic perspective and you expect something to happen. It's all about perspective.
Mm-hmm.
What are your expectations? You can't create expectations. If somebody shows conditional love back or unconditional love back, great.
Yeah.
But don't expect it.
Correct.
And somebody did something for me and I thought it was a gift and I didn't do something back and they got angry thinking that I owed them.
Right. Right.
So that's where you have to be careful about when you accept something as well.
Yes, I agree with that. You just do it. You do it out of the goodness of your heart. You like seeing them happy and you don't accept anything back. And I think that's what the Tuohys were doing. So I'm sure that they're hurt, not because he keeps coming for more stuff. It's because exactly what you said, the lies.
Yeah, he's not getting anything out of this. It's over, and it's unfortunate that this whole situation happened. So anyway, just wanted to jump in on that, give you the update. And I am grateful that the Tuohys now have the book's author and the producers and directors of the movie all saying the same thing. Everybody was on the same page. It's interesting. All of a sudden, several years later, almost 2 decades later, it's all of a sudden now, oh, I want money.
Yeah.
I need money. And as Aaron reminds everybody on the podcast today, that is a biblical principle. Don't expect something in return for charity that you give.
Exactly.
Doing things for people is charity. Mary says there's a lot of users in the world that take advantage of people. Just be careful and be able to move on. It's a lot easier said than done. I know that. And Paul finally says the conservatorship came into play when he chose to go to Ole Miss, and the Tuohys were the donors to Ole Miss. That way he wouldn't get in trouble because he was already there. So he had to be as part of the family. And that's where it happened. And they explained it. And you have what you have now. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. Oliver Anthony, another big story over the last couple of weeks. He was making, I don't know, $40,000 a day on iTunes because everybody was downloading his song. He's released more songs now. He's released videos as well. The Richmond, north of Richmond. Well, he has an issue, and he did not like Fox News using his song for the debate. They didn't ask him.
Mm-hmm.
Most people would like it being used. We did it. Did you have that video? Do you see the Oliver Anthony video? I don't know if it was storming in his car. I want to show you the video first, but here's what Oliver Anthony had to say because he doesn't want his song being used for any politicians.
It's aggravating seeing people on conservative news try to identify with me like I'm one of them. It's aggravating seeing certain musicians and politicians act like we're buddies and act like we're fighting the same struggle here, like that we're trying to present the same message. I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and I've tried to be polite to everybody, and I've talked to hundreds of people the last 2 weeks. But it seems like certain people want to just ride the attention of this song to maybe make them their own selves relevant, and that's aggravating as hell. The other thing that I find aggravating is, well, you know, like, it was funny seeing my song in the, it was funny seeing it at the presidential debate, because it's like, I wrote that song about those people, you know? So for them to have to sit there and listen to that, that cracks me up. But it was funny kind of seeing the response to it. Like, that song has nothing to do with Joe Biden, you know? It's a lot bigger than Joe Biden. That song is written about the people on that stage, and a lot more too, not just them, but definitely them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I liked what he said. I don't think he was dissing Republicans and Democrats on maybe the level that he is in life. I think that he is just an independent. He knows the people of the north of that. He's meaning the deep state is how I took it. I thought he meant that these big elites, you know.
Elites can be Republicans
and
or Democrats.
Yes.
And from a money hungry standpoint.
100%.
That's how I took it.
That's how I took it too. And he was calling out the conservatives. I know some people are mad at him now thinking he's calling out the conservatives. He did a little bit. I think he would have said that about the Democrats. I don't know him, but anybody that was up on that stage, he doesn't like any of those.
Yeah, no, it's about the financial corruption.
Yes.
It's about the greed that has overtaken this country. That's how I see it. And of course, music appeals to people in different ways. Jay says he comes off a little condescending and, well, frankly, ungrateful to the side promoting his music. I agree with you, Jay, 100%. The other issue with this whole situation, he also had a quote. Before I go to the quote, Aaron has a great quote too. Aaron says, quote, Biden is a rich man north of Richmond. So it is about him. I think Oliver needs to be careful trying to play the middle. This is what he is trying to do. And you're going to get in trouble. And I hate this because it is life right now. But we'll show you. I sent it to you. Okay, here's this quote. Here's what Oliver had to say. Quote, I, period, don't, period, support, period, either, period, side, period, politically, period. Not the left, not the right. I'm about supporting people and restoring local communities. Now go breathe some fresh air and relax. Please, question mark, smiley face. I'm not worth obsessing over. I promise. Go spend time with your loved ones. Okay, fair enough. Nice quote, nice, happy, down the middle kind of quote. Fair enough. I get it. Well, Republicans feel and have promoted you, or at least more conservatives promoted you than Democrats. Why is it that conservatives feel your music and feel your message and talk about it, whereas Democrats don't? That's my question to Oliver. And I appreciate where Oliver is, because I also did read, as Jeff said, that he turned down a multi-million-dollar music contract because he felt it went against what he was trying to do at the time. Now, will that change in time? I don't know. He's hot right now. Charles says it reeks of, and it's about all career politicians who he speaks of.
That's what I thought too. This is just my thought. I thought he was a little guy.
And maybe Republicans were confusing the message.
Yeah, I just thought he was a guy that was in the middle of nowhere that just wants to talk about these rich politicians that take it, that, you know, that keep, you know, keeping us down. I don't think I want to say this to me. I don't think he meant it on any higher level than that. But I'm not him. I just thought he meant that all of these people. And so the Republicans took it personal. But that's if you're a Republican. If you're somebody that is an independent, that I think that you're a patriot, you probably don't give really two hoots about.
Well, the left media did attack him.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on, but we talked about it on this show. Remember, I told you about the whole canceling aspect of what was happening to him. Newsweek tried to cancel him, saying that he was a controversial guy. Now, I don't know what's going on in his life, but just read between the lines, read those tea leaves. He was posting a bunch of video of Jordan Peterson. How many liberals do you know that post video supporting what Jordan Peterson says? 0.
Wow. Yeah.
If any liberal post video of Jordan Peterson, it's ripping him, or if any Democrat. He clearly has the same ideology that psychologist Jordan Peterson from Canada does.
Correct. And if that's the case, that he really has that, then he really is just trying to play it safe. And I do lose respect for him if that's the case. I didn't take it that way, but if that's what he's doing, then he's just spitting on the feet of the people
I think he's trying to play
him.
it safe.
Well, wouldn't we all like to play it safe? But unfortunately, in this environment, when you catapult yourself up, like you had said earlier in the show, you almost have to pick a side.
And that's what I was leading into.
Yeah.
And you did it remarkably well, Lizzie, because this is the problem. Yes, you can want to be loved by her. I'm not in the middle, or I'm in the middle. I'm not on either side. Yeah, okay, fine. That's great. But guess what? There are people and there are demonic forces at play.
Yeah.
If you believe in good, you believe in evil. If you believe that God gave you your life, then you have to believe that there is a devil coming after it.
Yes.
You have to believe that, yes, somebody will try to do something bad, nefarious, to hurt us. So if you just say, I'm in the middle, I don't support anybody, and just kind of go about life, fine. You just keep your head in the sand and float around. But I promise you, good and evil are going against each other, and evil never stops. So if you say, I'm just down the middle, okay, that's fine. Eventually, people have to take sides.
Yeah.
You do. For me, and this is a difficult thing, I try to take a godly side. And then, of course, people can debate what God would follow or who God is when it comes to life and politics and so forth. But to just say, yeah, well, I don't care, I'm just down the middle. I'm sorry. It's an easy kind of cotton candy, tastes good approach where, if you just sit back, something bad will happen. If you don't pick a side, if you don't stand up at some point in time, guess what? Things will take over and you may not be happy. That's where my issue is when people just say, well, I don't care. You have to stand for something.
Yeah. You have to stand for something. And I think we have somebody on here that's not on our side that gets a ring, just something or other, funny name, maybe has purple hair. I don't know. You promise the evil never stops.
Yeah, no, this is a question to me, and it's a fair question.
It is.
You promise the evil never stops. Is this factual or is it an emotional statement? It is first factual, because first, you can't have anything in life unless you have truth. You have to have truth first. And that truth comes biblically and from a Christian standpoint of knowing that good and evil exist.
Yes.
I think you know the answer to that question without me breaking it down. So yes, evil never stops.
It never stops. It's prowling around all the time. And
then yes, it becomes an emotional statement after I have truth first.
Correct. Yeah. And it's scary that
live the life of faith is where that comes from. Now what? That's what.
Yeah, it's faith. You're right. If you live the life of faith, and I love when someone asks that question, if they don't have faith.
Fair question. Great question.
It is a great question. And this person said that they're Buddha. And
Buddha.
And I totally understand that.
Be you, boo.
Yeah. Here's my question about somebody being a Buddha. When we were in China, we saw a lot of Buddhists. And I asked them, and he's the gentleman on the line saying he's a monk. When we were in China, this was what I respected their religion because I was in their country. But I asked him, I said, when you die, what do you become? Because I think, according to my faith in the Bible, there's way more than this. And he looked at me with a straight eye. I don't think he was a monk, but he said, well, there's levels. And if you achieve the highest level, then you become a lotus flower. Well, I don't want to become a lotus flower. I want to live in eternity with God forever. And if that's all they promised, then I think that's a very scary thing. And this gentleman, going back to what you were saying in the car, he probably just wanted to live his life and isn't a Buddhist. Maybe he isn't even a Christian. And now he's stuck there in the middle, but you can't play the middle, even with the Buddhist.
Well, he asked me. I didn't ask him. So he says, well, I'm not Christian. I'm like, well, then fine, go be you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's fine from your perspective. Go be you and do what you want to do. By the way, I had to get this in there. Kimberly said this is a great quote regarding Oliver Anthony's music and him saying, I'm nor Republican nor Democrat. I'm down the middle. Don't try to steal my music. It's not the first time we've heard musicians say this, the artists.
Correct.
Quote, don't bite the hand that feeds you. It's probably not the left that's buying his music. I guarantee it's not.
The left is not buying his music.
All you have to do is look at social media, and it's very plain as day and easy to see, especially after you saw Newsweek and CNN do articles against him.
Mm-hmm.
Literally cancel culture, trying to raise some red flags on him.
Yes, exactly.
Jessica says, I aspire to be a stinkweed. Okay. There you go.
There you go.
It's
You
all
could be
good
a
in life.
stinkweed or a lotus flower. Which would you rather be, Vic? Would you rather be a stinkweed or a lotus flower?
Let me get back tomorrow on that.
Okay. Just be thinking about that, listeners.
I don't know. I need to learn more about my stink plant.
Your stink
weed.
plant. Yeah, your
let me
stink
see.
plant. There you go.
And once again, Troy says the song is about the deep state elites sticking it to all of us. Well said.
He's exactly
At the ballot
right.
box, he'll vote Trump.
I would think he would too. I would think so too. I mean, and it's unfortunate that he's not just saying, hey, I hope you all buy my music. But yes, I understand that this is all of the higher level politicians, but he just kind of said the conservatives.
Oh, here we go. Now we're really in the weeds, so to speak.
Yeah.
Bendy says, after the lotus flower dies, then what?
That's a good question. That was exactly what I asked the guy when I was in China. What happens when the lotus flower, if that's the highest, and see, the gentleman's not answering back because I really do think that's what Buddhists believe, that there's levels after you die and you want to be a lotus flower. Well, they die and then you're just done. You're just done. But as a Christian, you're not done. I mean, we're just in a holding pattern here. But I want a Buddhist to tell me, why do you want to be a lotus flower? So the gentleman that was on the line, I would love to know Bendy's answer to that.
Well, maybe we'll get that.
Yeah, hopefully he comes. Maybe he private messages you and asks you more questions.
See, this is why I would be marijuana. That way, when I die, you could smoke me.
You want to be smoked?
You want to be smoked? Joe has got to be the big piece of meat that you smoke.
I'm not smoking Joe.
I'm not smoking Joe.
Sorry, Joe. Go somewhere else.
That's hysterical. There you
You're
go.
lost, man. You're lost.
You're lost.
Maybe Greg, who you're training there, can help you out.
That's funny.
That's not happening over here.
Okay, so the monk says you feel. Did you see the word feel? Not know. You feel you can pick your afterlife by following one religion over another. So, okay, so when you die, then I'm confused. So when you die, you can just become another religion in the tiers. I'm guessing that's what he's saying. And then you can go up to the lotus flower. Okay. I'm not making fun of it. I just don't totally understand that. He's saying no, that I'm wrong about that. So I don't know. I have one friend that kind of dabbled in it, but and I've asked him these same questions, but he could never quite give me an answer at all. And then somebody on the YouTube chat line is saying, is that their purgatory? I know a lot of Catholics believe that there is a purgatory.
Yeah,
and
because it's biblical.
And what's interesting about purgatory, some Protestants believe that there is no purgatory. But there is, they just might call it something else. I mean, there is a reckoning time before you get past that pearly gate, and Protestants just don't call it purgatory.
This is cancelthisshow.com. Not to get too far off base with the Buddha who's joined us this morning. He just thinks that his question is clearly too hard. Okay, that's fine. You're enlightened, and we pray that we can become enlightened. And I'm just glad that you bring...
I'm glad he's here.
Hey, I'm all about knowledge.
Me too. I like knowledge.
It is.
Yes.
And as Donna says, I think the lotus flower is just a symbol of strength, resilience, and rebirth.
And I think she's right about that. And it's a beautiful flower. It is.
Hey, this is the fastest 2 hours in podcasting anywhere. The show goes by super, super fast. I did have to get into this because it's such an important subject. I did see people over the weekend posting, where are the 2,000? Where are the 2,500 Maui children are missing? Mm-hmm. Did anybody hear this? Did you see this or hear this? I
don't know if it's the exact same thing that you have, but yes, a lot of people asked me to even talk to my daughter who fights human trafficking. Where are these kids?
Can you remind people how your daughter fights trafficking? Because I don't know if everybody really knows.
Okay, so years ago, she got a degree, and I'll keep this very short, in human development, was going to run a child care center like her mama. But then she realized, oh my goodness, she has sisters that are from China, and many people in China are human trafficked. So she just went down this big old rabbit hole. So she became an attorney and helped pass some legislation in our state. And she is an attorney, and she works for Andrew Bailey. But prior to that,
Andrew Bailey, the Missouri Attorney General.
Correct. And prior to that, she worked for Lincoln County, their prosecutor, and their sex crimes unit. So she tends to get put in in the sex crimes unit, but they only put people in there about 2 years because you can only handle that so much. Because what you're seeing takes you in a very dark place, what people do to children. And so I get called a lot. And she also speaks to schools and things about how to avoid human trafficking. And she was the first person that told me how much it was in Missouri, how much it's down this highway called Highway 70. Well, people were contacting me all weekend and saying there's so many children missing, but you can't find out any information about these children, and nobody's talking about it. But poof, hundreds and hundreds of kids are missing. Where did they go? Did they literally just burn in the fire? But a lot of the children were taken out to a safe zone prior to the fire because they knew it was coming. So where are those kids? No one's talking about it.
Well, the situation that happened in Maui were reports of 2,000 to 2,500 Maui kids missing as of a few days ago. Mm-hmm. What they meant was from school. And what happened was only 538 re-enrolled in the school district, whereas the rest of them did not. So, quote, by school district standards, they are not accounted for right now.
Wow.
So that's where the situation is. Are the kids with the families? Did they leave the island? Did they take off somewhere else? Do they know? That's what the situation is going on right now, is trying to find out where the kids are. It's very possible they're with their families. They just didn't re-enroll in school. But it was 2025 that they were still uncertain about. The schools, comprising 2 elementary and 1 intermediate middle school and 1 high school, are currently closed. So they're not in school anymore right now. All the schools are closed in Maui because of what happened. 1 elementary school severely damaged, unlikely to reopen soon, while the others have suffered damage as well. They also said that private schools in Maui, though, also were impacted. They received over 1,000 new applications, and they're trying to reshuffle to their campus to accommodate all the new students as well. So we can't just jump in all of a sudden and say, oh, these kids were stolen. I mean, is it possible in this evil time? Yes. Or something, or parents dead, or you don't know because we're not getting a lot of the information. However, these aren't parents and families reporting kids missing. This was the school district saying as of the end of last week that we just hadn't had the kids sign up yet. Because I looked into that when I saw some people posting, thinking that these kids were stolen from their families.
Right. And DRC off the YouTube chat line is saying they could be homeschooling right now. They could maybe not put them back in the school.
Yeah, where do you even go to report kids if the schools are burned down?
Right. I don't know where you report. Yeah, I have no idea. And, and like Jeannie said on the Facebook chat line, to go look at Oprah's. I'm seeing a lot about that, just to look at her school. We need to do.
I know there's been stuff in the past. I know that was a sarcastic comment, but.
Yeah, no, but we do need to look more into that because there's things going on. People are saying at her school. People have even accused of being human trafficking of going through that.
The other issue that's happening in Maui is now all the Democrats in Congress and across the country who blamed the fire on global warming and climate change. Well, they got a big, swift kick to the you-know-what. Maui has now come out and officially stated that the fire, they're not saying it was directed energy weapons, and I know we have viewers and listeners who think it might have been. They say it was because of the electrical company, which we reported on Friday. And that's their story. They're sticking to it, which means it wasn't climate change and it wasn't global warming. It was the electric company.
Right.
So anybody and everybody that tried to say that it was global warming, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And Maui told you it was wrong. Now, if you're somebody who believes in directed energy weapons, then they're also saying that you're wrong and you're a conspiracy theorist. Despite what you've seen in video and with blue roofs and with blue awnings and with blue umbrellas and cars not being torched somehow.
kind of funny. They can't explain away the oddities of this event. So they're going to say it's the electric.
Right. And so now it's going to be the electric, but then they wanted to make it a smart city. So they obviously can't handle a grid. So, I mean, there too is a problem.
Hey, real quick, Joe, did you see the video I sent it with the newscast video that happened, I don't know, maybe 6 months in advance? The Hawaiian newscast. I think I sent it this morning, or at least maybe it didn't go through. If you see
this one right here,
you're going to see it. Yes. Here you go. Guys, listen, I just want to explain this. Okay. Hawaii News talking about military activity going on months and months and months before what happened in Maui. Check this out.
If you happen to see green lasers in the sky, not to worry. It's the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers conducting coastal surveys. And they're being done using a contracted aircraft equipped with a light detection and ranging system. The lasers are used to measure distance. Residents near Oahu's south-facing shores between Barbers Point and Diamond Head might see those broad beams of green light across the night sky. It'll happen between midnight and 5 a.m. from Friday, April the 28th through the 30th. Officials say brief exposure to the light is not harmful to the unprotected eye.
Okay, the average person says nothing's wrong with that.
You have the
greatest people we like to think that are educated and just taking everything into account. Isn't it ironic that now there are confirmed laser beams being used for issues, maybe not necessarily nefarious things, but reporting on the news that was about 4 or 5 months before.
Oh, that was them doing all the measurements and getting the locations of everything they wanted to torch.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
there you go.
Just people, just look at it. I mean, seriously, think about it. It's right before your eyes.
It's right in front of our
They're
eyes.
using laser beams.
Yes.
In Hawaii about 5 months ago before this happens. The goal is for it to become an AI smart city.
Yep.
The conference was held there. These things were going on. I'm sorry. It's just something that, man, it's in the back of my head. I'm not saying it was, but I'm saying it's in the back of my head.
Yes, it's definitely. And they're saying that Joe is dropping truth bombs. And that's exactly right, Joe, because there's no other way to explain it. And they don't want you to know that. But gosh darn, because the average person's brain isn't that mean.
Why are they measuring? Why are they measuring a place that 5 months later gets torched by what everybody thinks is lasers? I mean, it's blatant in your face.
It certainly makes you wonder and question and think. That's for sure,
Joe.
doesn't it? It does. Okay, boy, oh boy, oh boy. We've had it's been a packed show. We got tons of stuff. We appreciate you guys joining us as always. By the way, the merch store coming this week.
Yes.
We'll let you know about that. We can go on canceltheshow.com. We've also got shows starting. I think we've got 3 shows taping here in the next couple of weeks as well.
Yes, 3 shows this week.
For Renew Media Group. Let us know if you've got ideas for a show that would do well, and we could certainly try to help you on that. That's what we're doing with other shows as well. And just let us know. And if you know of partners to combine with the show, we'd be grateful for that as well. So it's been a great podcast, if I do say so myself again today, August 28th. Edition. Anything else that we need to leave or remind people of? Or we have a new Facebook page or Insiders, right?
We do, and I'm sorry for any confusion of that. There was an old Facebook page that many people jumped on it, but it just wasn't official to Renew Media Group. So we have a new one, and if sorry for any confusion, but the new one is called Cancel This Patriots Outpost. And you can invite yourself. You can PM me if you are not already invited. I invited a bunch of you already, but I can only invite so many per day. So if you're interested and you're not already on that is a group. We will sometimes post the show on there as well, but it's a great place for patriots and people to talk and bounce ideas and send us things and talk amongst each other. And this group is different than the last group. This one's private. The other one was open. And so just anybody could go on there causing problems. This one is basically meant for patriots, and you can go on there, and it's a private group.
And polling just came out from the AP. 77% of Americans, this is AP, this is not Fox News, this is AP, liberal as possible. 77% of Americans say that Biden is too old to carry out a second term. Unsurprisingly, 89% of Republicans expressed the same sentiment. But 69%, almost 70% of Democrats also said the same thing about Joe Biden. And this polling was done between August 10th and August 14th. That's insane. The AP poll. Anyway, it just comes out. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you listening and viewing today. Remember to like, subscribe, share the show. Please check out our partners, our advertisers. If you know of any other ones, let us know as well. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. For Pro Joe, Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Have an awesome Monday. See you later.